My name is Mark, and I'm the shop manager at the bike park. I run the bike shop and the rentals. I'm just prepping last year's demo bikes, this Santa Cruz V10, to sell. So we try and keep the bikes 1 or 2 seasons, especially the premiums, just 1 season. This way we keep our bikes in the fleet nice and fresh, but also sell them when they're nice and fresh. So we try to keep that as a win-win for the buyer and the park and the renter. And right now I'm just popping back this lower link on the V10. Super easy to service, and you can inject grease into it, but I pull everything apart during this pre-sale service and really try to sort of leave no stone uncovered and unturned. And in this case, everything felt okay when I cycled the rear end, but once I got inside, I found 2 corroded bearings. And so I've replaced those. And I try to stay on stuff like this because we've gained a reputation that our bikes are in really good shape when people buy them, and I'd like to keep it that way. So this is something that's kind of like a hidden benefit. It's not something that anyone's gonna be able to tell I did when they come to buy the bike, but in a year down the line, they're not gonna have some bearing blow up on them and go, oh yeah, it's because I bought a rental bike. And I do this up and down the bike. So I'll get into the fork next, make sure brakes are good. Anything that's below about 60% wear, we try and go totally fresh so that nobody's sad. I don't always sniff it. Light fish smell. Didn't smack me in the face. I wouldn't drink it. Bike mechanic stuff is a lot of hidden things that like the mechanic does that the rider or the onlooker doesn't know if you do. So to me, that's why I care a lot about like little details, like how I cut a cable properly and make sure it's the right length, or make sure my housing and my brake hoses are the right length. The little stuff you do that you can actually see on the outside of the bike. If you do that stuff properly, then probably what's going on inside, the stuff that actually matters, will be done right. So I try to do everything I can to these demo bikes. And then one thing I never really expected here that's really satisfying is either somebody's partner will come in the shop, or they'll come in themselves and they flew in from Colorado, or they're here visiting family, or whatever it may be that brought them to the area, and they'll admit that they pulled into the parking lot and they were like, that's not a mountain, that's a small hill. And there's no way this is gonna rival my bike park from the Rockies or whatever it may be. And then they come in at the end of the day and they're like, this is the best bike park I've ever been to. This is insane what you did with this little, 1,000-foot drop. So the fact that we compete with the biggest mountains is like actually really a fun feedback loop to get.